you got the opportunity to watch a Australian Shepherd or Healer or whatever it was.
Oh, I think it's a little Aussie.
Working cows, and was his person giving direction for it, or did he just know what to do? I mean, did he just come in and push those cows out and get them loaded in the trailer?
Oh, he was totally waiting for his job. He knew what he wanted to do. You could see the anticipation, and as soon as the cowboy gave his command via a whistle, he was on it.
Yeah.
And he pushed him right out of that pen.
Yeah.
You know, the cowboy walked out. You know, he gave a whistle, the dog ran in and started moving the cows right out.
Yeah.
And the cowboy wasn't even there.
Yeah, and you know that is connection and purpose and expectations, and you know, our dogs are so connected into what their job is as it relates to you, and right, he's got good instinct to, I can do this, and so I think that we don't give our dogs enough credit, kind of like thinking with Murphy, like, we don't even know he's, you know, how do you know what they're paying attention to and what, because we do things that we don't even think about. But for our dogs, they're thinking about it. They're waiting for that. They're waiting for that, oh, the remote picked up, or you shifted, or, you know, our smells change, or, and stuff that we don't know is happening, for them to know. So I think creating connection can be so abstract to people that if you don't have a dog that is connected, what are some of the things that people can do to help create that feel of, we don't have to micromanage our dogs anymore? What are some things that you feel like we can give to our listeners that can create it?
I think ironically, some of what I've seen is people have expectations on their dogs, but they're not sure why. And while we talk about, you know, fundamental connection existing in structure and routines and things like that, like with Mitt, sometimes I think that can backfire as well. And the expectations that people have may not be realistic for the personality that the dog has. There may be connection there already, and the person not see it. And we've seen that too. And it's being able to tap into your dog's personality and how they connect with you. That's the healthy part of it. Is, you know, if you have a dog that, for, I'm just making up an example, if you have an Italian Greyhound like Mitt, and you want him to be a cattle dog, perhaps that expectation isn't realistic.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that Mitt may not enjoy it, but, well, Mitt, if you get stepped on, buddy,
yeah,
you may not be back for the next podcast. But the expectation, you're setting realistic expectations. You know, helping the client set realistic expectations, and develop that connection based on the dog's personality and the dog's purpose within the home, within the family.
Yeah. Michelle?
Something I was thinking about is just taking a step back. If your dog's not doing something that you want him to do, like step back and think what you're doing. Like, for example, if you're outside yelling at your dog to come here and he's not coming, I mean, would you go to somebody that's actually yelling at you? Yeah. Probably not. Yeah. So just take a step back on things like that and just think what you're doing and what your body language is giving off, and how you can change it to make it more positive for the dog to want to be with you.
Yeah. Shannon?
I totally agree with Chris. And I think those expectations are on all levels of your dog's life. For example, my dog I have now, Louis, when you sit on the sofa, he wants to sit on you. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with that. He's a small dog.
Yep.
I had another dog that he would always want to be in the same room with you, but he would sit way on the other side of the sofa. He would never sit right by you.
Mm-hmm.
And even when he was a tiny puppy, if he would wake up and he was asleep on you, he would get up and go to the other end of the sofa and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And so for him, he wanted to be with you, but he didn't want to sleep on you or have his head on you or be by you. And that's okay.
Yep.
You have to look at your dog when you're learning and figure out what your relationship's going to be. Do you love to go and play ball?
Right.
Some dogs love to play the ball, and
Yep.
other dogs hate it. So if your dog hates it, then you need to learn what do they like and what can you do together.
Yeah.
Just like with having a friend, like
Right.
you go and do things with your friend that you both like, and that's how you have to look at your dog.
Yeah.
How can you create a friendship by doing things in common?
That's good. I like that. And I think friendships are, you have different friendships and different relationships where, you have your colleagues at work, but then there are certain people at work that you go hang with, and there's other people that you just maybe go to lunch with. And then there's some people that you go have margarita parties with, or there's outside, family friends that it's a different relationship, or even within your family, you have different things that you do. And I think we forget to give our dogs that, like, they can have that relationship. They can have that feeling. Doesn't mean that they're going to feel what you feel, but they can have that feeling of friendship. And so that's good. I like that connection is a friendship. You're developing a friendship.
I was just thinking that, like, if you have multiple dogs, you can have different expectations for each of them. Murphy, being 80 pounds, has never been allowed on our bed or on our couch.
Yep.
But our two dogs that are under 20 pounds are always on top of us.
Yeah.
And I think people have a hard time with that because they think that they're mistreating one of them, and that's not true. Dogs just don't think that way.
Right.
And
Right.
That's just always been an expectation in our house, and he just doesn't get to do those things, and
Yeah.
he's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, we don't treat human beings exactly the same way. Because my relationship with you is different than my relationship with you, and different than, so having those feelings of, well, my dog's missing out, where, there's 3 of us in our family that love to ride horses and be around the horses, and there's 2 of them that don't, but we're not going to make them go ride horses. We're not going to make the kids have the same relationship with each of the dogs. It's all different. And so why we feel like the dogs have to be created equal, it's not fair to the dog. We're trying to make them something that they're not. So coming back to what the instinct is, an Italian Greyhound, no, is not going to go push cows. But, the shepherd may. So, I think that's good stuff. Is there anything else that we want to add into, and anybody else want to talk about anything else as it relates to connection? I think that, my ending statement is keep training, keep working your dog, and find a friendship, and be abstract and be different, and to find that with your dog if you can. Thank you for listening. If you want to know more about us and our services, please visit our website at www.wsk9co.com. And as always, we urge you to get out and train.